Hello, my name is Noah Elkreef, and today I want to support you to follow your own path. I want to empower you to follow your own way, to live life how you want to live. So, what do I mean by that? Well, what I've found in my own life and with friends, family members, and clients is that it is very, very common for us to be living our life in ways that don't resonate with our deepest, truest self, but we do anyhow because of the comfort it provides us. Now, this might mean staying in a relationship when we don't want, staying in a job when we don't want, choosing career paths we don't want. It might mean staying in a religion we don't want to be a part of. It might be following a spiritual teacher that's not in resonance with our own truth. It can show up in many, many, many different ways, but these are the types of ideas that I'm talking about, or types of paths and choices that I'm speaking about. So, why do we stay in situations where we're following a path that's not most deeply authentic and true for us? One of the main fears that we have, one of the main reasons we stay in it is because of the fear of losing people. The fear of losing people. What might happen? Who might reject us or abandon us or leave us if we really choose for ourselves, right? If we tell our parents we don't want to have kids, if we tell our partner we don't want to get married, if we tell our friend that we don't want to do drugs, if we leave the spiritual teacher that our whole community is a part of, if we leave our religion, that our whole neighborhood or family is a part of, like, what might happen? Will we get rejected? Will we get insulted? Will we get judged? Will we get manipulated? Will we be told we're stupid, we don't know what we're doing, we're being ignorant, we're being foolish or immature? What will happen? What are you afraid will happen if you choose for yourself? How will others treat you? Can you handle it, or is it too much? And the intention of this video isn't to make you do anything, to make you leave something that you're a part of. It might be because you want to stay, and it might be because you're too scared, and it's okay to be too scared. Yeah, it's okay that it might be too intense and too scary to leave something we're a part of. And for one, because we're afraid of the rejection of how people will treat us. And two is we often follow these laid out paths because it's scary to not know what's next. So when we're following, the path that our parents taught us, become a doctor or a lawyer or a teacher or whatever, or we're following the script of, get married, buy a house, have kids, or be a part of this religion and do what they say, or be a part of that spiritual type of community or teacher or sangha and do what they say. It's really comforting because someone else has decided what is good, what comes next, where you're going. And to leave that is really scary, can be, to go into the unknown. Like, what if you don't know what's next? What if you don't know what's good? What if you don't know what's right? What if you don't know where you're headed? You don't know what life is about. You don't know what you want. How does that feel inside to just not know? Sometimes we can be really clear that something isn't right for us. A certain relationship, a certain living in a certain place, a certain spiritual group or idea, but we don't know what is right for us. And so we tend to shy away from the unknown. The unknown can be really scary. But I'm here to say the unknown can turn into the most beautiful thing in the history of the world. The unknown is the breeding ground, the fertile ground of authenticity, of love, of life, of aliveness, of joy, of your own sovereignty, your own independence, your own soul path. It comes from the unknown. You see, the known is what was put into us, security, right? We want the security. Do this, then this, then this, then this. This is where you're headed. We want to get to the mansion. We want to get to X amount in the bank. We want to get it to grandchildren. We want to get to enlightenment. We want to get to martyrdom, whatever the case may be. It's like we are told what is the hierarchy. We're told how to get there. But what if you don't know what you want and you don't know how to get there? On the one hand, it's massively scary, but on the other hand, it's exciting. Then I can feel into it in every moment. What feels true for me? What feels alive for me? What do I want now? Maybe this week or this month, what matters to me most is peace. And next month, what matters most to me is connection. And next month, what matters most to me is my business. Or next year, this or that. And instead of having to know what is the most important thing or have some static idea, instead it's a living, breathing truth that exists and shifts perhaps in every moment or every month or every year or every 10 years, whatever the case that may be. Yeah? Nobody knows what is the best path for you. Nobody knows what is most true or in highest good for you. Everyone is unique. Everyone has a different path. I don't know what's best for you to do. I don't know where you're going. I don't know what you care about. I don't know what your intention is here in this life. And nobody does. You understand? No spiritual teacher knows what's best for you. And so it's very tricky sometimes to follow teachers who lay out a path of where to go or what is best. This is the truth. Get there. How do you know? Just because it's their truth doesn't mean it needs to be your truth. Or the religion. This is the truth. Follow that. It's like religion has infiltrated spirituality in dogmas of follow this or follow that teacher they know or do it like this or look like that or talk like this. And yeah. So I feel like I want to go into it a little bit, and so in order to follow our own authentic path, in order to live from our own sovereign choices, sometimes it might mean doing what's scary. So going against what somebody else wants us to do, going towards what might get us rejected or abandoned. And I want to help make that easier for you so you can follow your truth. Yeah. So rather than just push yourself, sometimes when we're afraid, maybe the appropriate thing to do is to just push ourselves to do it anyhow. And that can be wonderful. But sometimes that's too difficult. So what we're going to do is some energetic prep work so that it can be easier for you to do it in the physical form if you feel like it. So I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to first acknowledge something that you want to do differently than you're doing, but you're afraid for whatever reason. You might not want to be in your relationship. You might not want to get married. You might not want to have kids. You might not want this profession. You might not want to work in this company. You might want to dress different, talk different. You might not want to be part of your religion. You might want to move cities, move countries. You might be against or not be interested anymore in some form of spirituality or spiritual healing or a spiritual teacher that you once were a part of or are currently a part of. So I want you to just acknowledge first what is your truth. And let's be clear, you don't have to act on it. Sometimes it can be really scary to acknowledge what our truth is because we're scared if we acknowledge it to ourselves, we might have to act on it. You don't have to act on it. The first thing is just to acknowledge, do I really feel resonant with whatever it is I'm doing and I'm a part of? Does that feel like it's in highest alignment with me? Does it enliven me? Do I feel passionate about it? Does it give me energy? Does it feel like a clear, solid yes? Or no? Does it not? Does it feel draining or like you're going through the motions? Once you've acknowledged, maybe it's a yes for you. Maybe that it is, whatever it is you're doing is perfectly aligned. And that's wonderful that you're already doing what is perfectly aligned. But if you've discovered that there's some aspect in your life, some aspect of your behavior and what you're doing with your life doesn't feel resonant, doesn't feel true, then let's move on to the next part. And that is, I want you to ask yourself, what am I scared will happen if I make the choice that is in alignment with my authentic self? What am I afraid will happen? Am I afraid to die, be killed? Even if that's not a rational fear, don't worry if it's rational or not. Just see how it feels in your body. I'm scared to die, I'll be killed, I'll be left alone. Maybe it feels like someone will insult me, someone will try to convince me. People won't like me, I'll have no friends, I'll be all alone. Check in with yourself. What are you afraid of? And when you ask yourself this question, see if you notice feelings arising in your body. Fear, abandonment, feeling small, scared, angry, protective. And I want you to allow whatever it is you're feeling. Allow whatever emotion is, even if it's intense. See if you can allow it. Hold yourself. Like cuddle yourself, hug yourself. I'm here with you. It's safe to feel whatever it is you're feeling. It's okay. Whatever you're feeling, no matter how intense it is, it's okay. It's safe to feel it. Just let yourself feel scared. I can't handle it. I can't do it. It's too scary. Don't try to change your feelings. Don't try to make them different. Allow yourself to feel what you're afraid to feel. And to help you do this, you can envision it happening, the worst case scenario. If you're afraid of people being angry at you, imagine them being angry at you. If you're afraid of people leaving you, imagine them leaving you. And really let yourself feel what you're afraid to feel. You see, we tend to think that we're afraid of physical circumstances, unwanted circumstances, but what we're actually afraid of is how those unwanted circumstances would make us feel. So you're not afraid of being rejected or abandoned. You're afraid of feeling some way that you think that would trigger in you. You understand? We're afraid of feeling hurt or rejected as opposed to we're afraid of being rejected or abandoned. And in addition to that, if we're afraid of being rejected or abandoned, it's never something new. We're afraid of a feeling that's already inside of us. So when we do this, when we imagine the scenario we fear, we're actually just triggering remnant rejection or fear or insecurity or abandonment inside of us that occurred in our childhood, from our parents, like in our parents' lives, or from our past lives. So I want you to just allow yourself to feel whatever it is you're scared to feel. Holding space for yourself, listening to yourself, taking care of yourself, being gentle with yourself. It's okay to feel however you feel. And see if you can express, if anything wants to be expressed, I don't want to do it anymore. Or I hate following this. Or screw all of you, stop telling me how to live my life. Support yourself to express whatever needs to express, whatever you wish you could say to the other people. Whether you wish to say something to them like, stop treating me like this, or you wish you could express something vulnerable, like, it hurts me that you care more about me following your way than how I feel. Like maybe your father wants you to be a doctor, and you don't want to be. but he'll be mad at you if you don't. So it hurts me that you care more about what profession I choose than whether I'm happy. Yeah, or maybe it's somebody in a spiritual group you're in, and it's like, it hurts me that you think you know better than me. Hurts me that you think you know best how I should live my life, instead of trusting me that I am my own unique soul that knows more about what I need than anyone ever could. See if you can express your vulnerability, your anger, or standing up for yourself. You have the right to do what you want to do. And anyone who truly cares about you and loves you, anyone who's worth having in your life, will support you to do what it is you want, even if it's inconvenient for them. Right? If I love you, if we're in a relationship and I love you and you say you feel it's better off for you to be by yourself, well then I want you to do that. If I want a kid and you don't want a kid and you tell me, I want to support you. If you don't want it, I understand. Right? If you're following a particular teacher, and let's say I'm that teacher, and you say you don't want to follow me anymore, wonderful, I respect that. Go find your own way. Right? If anyone who truly is worth having in our life is someone who cares about our feelings, who cares about us following our authentic desire, that's what loving and caring relationships are. So if us telling someone, I want to do something different, makes them control us or judge us or reject us, they're not worth having in our life. Or at least not as close as we maybe wanted them. Having them far away, a distance, sometimes family members aren't able to accept us or love us because they haven't done the work on themselves to love and accept themselves. So we can still have them in our life, but just albeit a little bit more distant perhaps, because they aren't able to accept, empower, and support our own authentic ways of living our life. How is that feeling for you? Sometimes it can be confronting, but I have to tell you something so important if I haven't already. You know what's best for you. Nobody knows what's best for you. No religious teacher, no spiritual master or guru, not your boss, definitely not your mother or father. Nobody knows best what is right for you. In the same way that if two songs come on the radio, nobody else knows other than you which song will feel better for you. If you put 10 different items of clothing out, no one knows more than you what will feel best on you. In the same way, no one knows what job is best for you, what partner is best for you, how to have a child or not have a child, when to have a child, when to have your own home, whether to rent a home, whether to move, what city you should live in, what country you should live in, what types of healing you should do on yourself, what religion to follow or lack of religion to follow. Nobody knows better than you what is right for you. Nobody. You know what's best. And sometimes that's really hard for us to grasp because we go through life first following our parents. Our parents are like God. They tell us everything. They know what is best and what is true. We're programmed from maybe a young age to follow Jesus or some other religion. Like, you need to follow them. They know what's right. They know what's true. And so, or the teacher knows what's best, or the doctor knows what's best. There's all sorts of forms of indoctrination and brainwashing that somebody else knows better than you what you should do. And I'm here to tell you, no one knows better than you. I want to empower your own authentic choices, even if everyone says you're crazy or you're bad. And to tell you that if you're afraid of what others think, say, or do for you to follow your own way, that's normal, it's healthy, it's okay. I mean, you don't have to do it differently. But if you want to do it differently, I invite you to bring up the emotional energy that you're fearing and work with it by yourself or with the help of someone else. So this way, when you actually go to making the physical change in your life, doing the physical thing differently, that you're not so scared of it. You don't have to push so hard. It's not such a big deal, right? If you're afraid of leaving something because they might reject you and it might trigger your feeling, I'm worthless, I'm garbage, I'm terrible, no one will ever love me. If you bring up that feeling for yourself, deal with it, then when you leave this person or this place or this situation, it can feel really relaxed. And if they reject you, it's okay, because you know it doesn't mean anything about you. Yeah, no matter how smart the other people are, no matter how lovable, wonderful they are, it doesn't mean they know what's best for you. Ever. Yeah. I care about you following your own way. Whatever that is. Whatever that is. Whatever that is. There is no hierarchy as human beings of who knows best, who's doing the right way, who knows the truth. There is no the truth. It took me a while to discover that through following countless different ways and teachers telling me they know the truth, and then thinking I know the truth, and eventually discovering it doesn't exist from my perspective, but who knows? Maybe it does for you, and then you're going to have to follow that. Okay. I don't think I have anything else to say here. Actually, something else does come to me. Every time we choose not to follow our authentic desire, we are suppressing our own life force, happiness, joy, love, and aliveness. It's like we're this volcano that just wants to erupt all day, every day, filled with love, joy, aliveness, passion, enthusiasm, connection, creativity, and energetic enthusiasm. And every time that we don't follow, like that only comes through when we're following our own authentic way. Like if there's 5 sports placed in front of us, right? Bowling, basketball, soccer, football, tennis, let's say, and we love one of those sports and we go towards it, we're naturally going to be filled with aliveness and enthusiasm. But if there's another sport over there that we don't know how to play, we don't really like it, then if we force ourselves to do that, we might feel suppressed or low or contrived or contracted and not comfortable. So when we do what is most authentic, there's our natural life force and aliveness come through. And when we push down our authentic truth, our authentic choices, our authentic way of living, we're suppressing our own soul's energy, which causes us to live a life that feels dull, dead, devoid of connection, aliveness, and just all the feelings that are really worth living. So the question that comes to me is sort of like, is it worth it? Is it worth it? So it's like, if we're choosing to live in a situation and operate in a situation that doesn't feel true for us, we're choosing to live with misery in a sense, because we're afraid that if we get rejected or abandoned and people don't like us, it will be even more miserable perhaps. But that's the question for you. Are you sure? Because the misery that comes when people reject you and abandon you, that's emotional triggers. That can be worked through. That can be dealt with so that you can be fully alive and happy. But the misery that comes from just not following your own authentic truth, you can't work through that, right? That will stay no matter how much emotional work you do. You might feel peace. You can get to a place of peace, but not aliveness, enthusiasm, joy, and a passion for life. So the question is it worth it? Is it worth it to suppress your own life force, soul's energy, in order to avoid the confrontation and conflict of going against people, whoever they might be, real or imaginary? Okay, I really, really wish you so much support, so much luck, so much ease. I wish you ease, and clarity and empowerment to do this for yourself. And please let me know in the comments what your experience is for you in what you feel like shifting, don't feel like shifting, too scared to shift, too scared to acknowledge, or whatever else. I will read it. Okay. All the best. Bye.